Glokk40Spaz recently dropped his deluxe to his album Baby Woe 2, and I had the opportunity to create a cover art for the album. Although it didn't get used, I still think it's a pretty cool cover and still feel like you guys will learn something valuable from this video. I'm going to break down exactly how I made the logo, how I turned that logo into a 3D logo inside of Blender, and also how I turned that 3D logo into a full-on cover art. Now if this video gets 50 likes, I will drop the whole PSD for you guys. Alright, so this is the logo I made for, the cover art, or I made this originally for a flyer, but he fucked with it a lot and he wanted it, turn into a cover. This is pretty simple. I used AI for like the bat because I can't personally draw. I'll show you guys the prompt in a minute. This is kind of like what it is, and I put threshold on it, but we'll get rid of that for now. We'll just go into like what it is actually. You can see that it's literally just this kind of like bat like thing, whatever the hell it is. I used this kind of reference that was similar to this. It was like a lion or some shit like that, and I just got ChatGPT to kind of pose it the same way, and then I duplicated it and made it like this two-headed bat, and then I put these Dracos on his wing just to give it this like unique aspect to it. All I did was like hit Control U, bring the lightness all the way down, then I added a threshold like so. Also I did some text in the middle, so the font I used for that was called Got Ball Crap. The fuck. So something similar to this is kind of like what I did, and then I right click on the T icon here, click select pixels, then I merged it all together and basically just erased. And then you want to go ahead and you want to click on this ellipse tool right here, and you want to just make a circle. You want to hold shift, make sure it's a perfect circle, and then you can adjust it like so. And you can copy these settings. So the fill, we have a nothing, so with the red stripe, and then we got a black stroke here, and we put it to 67.45. right? So you can export this. Now this is the exact prompt I used, just in case you guys were wondering. That's kind of like what I did. So what you want to do is you want to export this as a PNG, and then we're going to go over to PNG to SVJ on Google, and we're just going to click the first one, and you want to make sure it's black. So I'm just going to drag in the original version of it, but it's pretty much the same thing, right? So you just want to hit download. All right, so now we're in Blender. If you guys don't know what Blender is, it's basically a free 3D software. It's kind of hard to work with, but I'm going to show you guys how you can do this like super easy. You don't really need to know Blender or 3D in general to know how to do this. When you open up Blender, you're going to see this little cube here, it's a little project. Just want to go ahead, select that and hit delete. And what we're going to go ahead and do is grab that SVG file and we're going to put it into Blender. So we're going to go to file, we're going to go to import, go to scalable vector graphics. I just want to go ahead and grab your logo, and it's going to be imported like this. Now it might be a bit small. All you want to do is hit A, and then you want to hit G just to kind of center it here, and then we're going to hit S to scale it up, hit G again just to center it. So once you have it centered, you want to click somewhere like this, make sure it's yellow. So the reason I say to select this point right here is because if you don't, you'll go to object, and if you try to convert it, it won't convert. So you have to go ahead and click somewhere like this, and you want to hit A, you want to go to object, then convert to mesh, and then you want to go to object again, and you want to hit join, and that will kind of just bring everything together, right? So we're going to go ahead and go into modeling here. You want to make sure you're in edit mode, and we're just going to zoom in real quick, and we're going to hit A, and we're going to hit E, and then we're going to drag our mouse up just to wherever we want to bring it. So I think that's pretty good. So to get rid of this black texture here, let's just go into here. So to get rid of this black texture, we want to go into materials. So you want to hit this little red ball right here, and you just want to spam this little remove icon here. So we're just going to get rid of all of these, right? So once they're all gone, you're just gonna have like a plain just raw logo. You don't want that, so we're gonna hit new. Basically we're gonna bring the metallic all the way up, and then we're gonna bring the roughness down a bit, just so we get this metallic chrome kind of effect. Now the reason it looks like green the reason it looks all green and like all these different colors is because of the HDRI. So in Blender, it basically just gives you this like default like tree like outside kind of HDRI. Now we can go over to HDRI Haven, which is called Polyhaven now, and we can go ahead and just click on something similar to what we're going for. So for me, I was doing like a blue sky kind of background, so you can really just go based off of that. I already have one installed, but yeah, you guys can get these completely free. So we're going to go into the shading tab, and we're going to go over to where it says object. we're gonna go to world. So we're gonna go to add, we're gonna go to texture, and then environment texture. We're gonna put that right there. We're gonna connect these two, so the color to the color, like so. And then we're gonna go to open. I'm just gonna type in HDR, and I'm gonna get this evening, afternoon. And then you're gonna have to change it, your viewport, to this one right here, so this ball right here, and you're gonna get something that looks similar to this, which is pretty nice. Now obviously we don't want it to be like a direct reflection, so that's why we have to bring the roughness to like 150. Now to make this transparent, like so we don't have the world in the background, what we want to do is hit this little render icon, and we want to go to film, and we want to click transparent, and that will, you know, make this whole thing transparent. And you can mess around with the render engine. I use cycles when I was rendering this out. It kind of gives you this clean look. Obviously it uses more CPU, or you can change it to GPU if you want. Because I'm recording, you know, obviously I'm not going to do that. You can also mess around with the lighting. Like even with the strength and all that, like you can mess around with all this just to get like the perfect look. And yeah, just, you know, mess around with it, you know, try different settings. Even with this light, let me find that shit, where is that? You can go ahead and you can like point it, you know, like you can just have different shadows. And then obviously if you press 0 on your keyboard, if you have like a full keyboard, or if you press 0 on the numpad, you can, you know, access the camera. You want to change this camera, and you just want to like zoom it in like so bring it down a little bit. All right, so once I rendered out the logo, I actually went ahead, you know, just dragged it in like so. The whole idea was to, you know, obviously match the original cover art. So to do that, what I needed to get was kind of like an aerial bird's eye view of Atlanta. This is kind of like the image I found. It matches up pretty well. Like I seen the highway on the original cover art, so I think this might be the exact same like picture. Basically the whole idea is like that's flat, like planted into the like ground. That was kind of like the whole idea, that like clouds would be on it, like, you know, just like it was on the sea, right? So the main brush I use is called, if you guys just look up 24 cloud brush, it will literally just pop up right here. It's pretty good. It actually is really good, especially for what I was doing. But yeah, we can go ahead and get into it. So I started off with this kind of cloud right here, just simple clouds, just to get the kind of like base down. And yeah, I went in with a layer mask, or yeah, I went into the layer mask, kind of used the brush tool. So let me just show you guys what that looks like in action. So we go ahead, create that little mask right there, and then we just go down to our brushes. So we got these right here, and let's just say we inverse the mask, and then we go back in with these clouds right here. We can kind of just mess around with different ones, you know, just kind of finding like a little base like this, and you can just keep going and going and going, go crazy with it. There's no real perfect way to go about it, but it was mainly to get this milky kind of look, right? And we got some more brushes, literally just spamming brushes around the place. Then I made a kind of, you know, shadow here, which will make more sense as we go along. Like it kind of looks out of place right now, but yeah, you guys will kind of see where I was going with that. I added this layer right here, which is basically just a chrome layer. So it's a chrome layer. If you guys don't know how to do that, let me show you. You want to go up to filter, you want to go to filter gallery, and we're gonna just hit chrome. You can find it in sketch, chrome, and it will look something like this. You can adjust the settings. And yeah, then I added another little cloud brush right here. I'm telling you guys, it's literally just the same thing over and over again. Even more brushes here, kind of just keeping that cloudy look from that original background. Now I added this back kind of flying in, put a little blur on it just to give it that like, just so it's really close to the camera kind of look. Even more over here. Obviously I was really intentional with it, so like especially over here I would try and get like this, like, so I was kind of colliding with this wall right here, so like acting like this was a wall, right? So I was being intentional with it and keeping in mind that it is 3D and it is meant to look like it's on the ground, right? So instead of, let's say we cover all of here, right? Instead of covering all of here, I would only cover about here, and then I would say it gets blocked right here, right? So just to give you guys a bit of context to what I was thinking in the mind, or like when I was doing this whole thing, like I wasn't just covering the whole thing, right? So I was just trying to keep in mind that it is a 3D thing. I was trying to keep it as realistic as possible. Like imagine if this shit was like actually on the ground and you were on Google Earth or Google Maps, whatever, and you just see this shit. Like clouds would obviously just form, kind of like hitting the edges of it, right? Obviously there would be clouds on top. Like over here it's spilling over because this is like coming over, right? So that's kind of like the context behind it, just so you guys know. Then some shadows on the edge, like blue tones right here. And then this was something I really fucked with, but I don't think like would it this could have been crazy. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why I didn't go with it, but basically what it is, it's hella layers or hella lasers. I don't know why I said layers, but it's hella lasers, kind of like perspective, so you can kind of see it here. But I don't know if we can reset it. Basically, let me try and just show you guys what it originally looked like. Basically it would just be like this originally, and I kind of just perspective it to like be vertical, if that makes sense, right? And I try to keep it like in some sort of perspective or in some sort of order. You'll see with these, they're all in like some sort of like corner, and it just gives it this like Batman kind of look. I don't know, this shit looked so crazy. I don't know, I should have kept this for sure, but yeah, I'll keep it right now. I'm not gonna lie, I really fuck with it. Then we also added some more mist, and then some more shadows, and then I added some adjustments from my adjustment pack. If you guys do want to go ahead and check it out, I'll leave a link down below. I will go through these with y'all motherfuckers, but I will go through it with you guys. So we got an overlay black and white layer or gradient map. We put that to 55 fill. We got curves, we got a gradient map. This is kind of fire. So we got this like kind of monochrome type layer gradient map, so it gives it this kind of like nice tone. Then we got this color and vibrance, just kind of help it out a little bit. Then we got this brightness contrast, curves again, so it's just a simple little like curve like this, just adjust it a little bit. And then we also have a saturation, just bringing it up. And then I also added this gradient map, just purple, like kind of like mid-tone purple, so like in the middle right here. And we kept it normal, brought the fill down to about 45. You can bring it lower. Then I added a camera raw filter. So the goal for this was to kind of like make it more like less like harsh. So that's why you see these values are all the way down. Just to like make it very soft, like very dreamy. Like if I brought this shit all the way up, like it becomes very kind of like, you know, weird, right? So I wanted to make it dreamy, you know, do all that shit, right? So that's kind of like the whole cover art, really. There's not really too much to it.